Yeah, yeah, I'm living my best life. Made a couple M's, you know. Said I'm living my best life. Said I'm living my best life.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Random Opinions, Reaction, and Reviews. If you don't know who I am by now, you gotta get with the program. Today, that was a weak snap.
Today we're coming to do a review on the episode that aired on General Hospital. Today's date is August 15th.
So let's go ahead and get into this. Love today's episode. Oh my god. Oh my god. So we start off with Robert filling Jason and Sam in on what happened with Franco. And he says, Franco does believe that he is Drew. As of right now, they don't know if it could be reversed, but they're thinking that either Franco would have to live with Drew's memories or risk being in a vegetative state forever. Then Robert leaves, and Jason is like, you know what? I remember what happened to me in Russia, and it was the worst. Not knowing why you're there, being confused. And Sam is like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. So she's asking Jason, do you believe Franco would be able to fill Drew in on what happened to him in his previous life? Because we know that the actual Drew Kane doesn't know any of this. He's lost his memories, and the only memories he has is the ones that he's built in Port Charles with Sam and Elizabeth. And, the only memories he has is from 2014 on. So this Drew only remembers things from 2012 and back. If the writers write this right, Drew can learn so much from himself. It sucks that Billy Miller is leaving. It's such an untimely loss. Like, now the writers are getting into exploring new things. It sucks that, they're trying to up the ante with the writing, and now he's leaving. Like, anyway, I hope that the writers write this right. That's all I can say. Just get it right, writers. Get it right. Jason says he will never, ever forgive Franco for what he did to Michael and Sam. But he says it counts for something that Franco risked his life to save Cameron. So yet another redemption storyline for Franco, except for this time it's not really boring. I'm actually liking it. Like, never thought I'd see the day. Do I think Franco could be redeemed? No. Do I like the storyline? Yes. It's making for some interesting material, I will say that. We leave off with Kim and Frankendrew. That's what I'm calling him, Frankendrew. He kisses Kim, right? She's confused. She pushes him off of her. Now, yesterday's episode, she kissed him back. But y'all know how General Hospital do that. They try to reel you in. You be like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Didn't she kiss him? And then, oh, nope. Freaking Liz and Drew walk up and she pushes him off like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, you don't remember me? They tried to feed me a bunch of stuff about memory mapping. I don't believe them. You, of all people, knows me. You know who I am. You know that I'm Drew. She's like, no, you're Franco. Right? And so he kind of gets pissed and he leaves. And Kim is like, look, y'all gonna have to fill me in on what's going on. So Elizabeth and Drew fill her in, and that makes her even more confused. Like, ugh. But I think she kind of feels some type of way because now the Drew that she known, he's arisen, you guys. He's here. It might not be in the face that she sees when she sees Jason, but I really don't think the woman cares. Like, I feel like the only reason why she's playing it safe right now is because that's Elizabeth's husband and Elizabeth is her friend. I feel like she would do anything to get Drew 2K12 back. I could be wrong. I peeped Billy Miller. He was standing there looking like a dumb deer in headlights. When that kiss happened, he was like, like, he didn't know what to do. Like, dude, this is your memories. Like, it's just weird because he's looking at himself outside of himself. And I know it's weird for him, but he was like looking like, dang, I don't know. I didn't get the reaction that I wanted out of him. I would have wanted him to be more involved with his memory. I don't know, man. I don't know. Is he surprised that his old self really loved Kim the way Kim told him he did? Like, I need some reactions from Billy Miller. I maybe he, you know how it is when you young and school is almost over. So that last week of school, you don't even care. You don't even do your homework because it's like, it don't matter. It's the last week of school, you know? So I think it's kind of like that with Billy Miller. He's leaving soon. So it's like, he really doesn't care. But it's like, dude, get more involved. Like, I want to know how you feel. I want to know if, you know, are you shocked that your old self loved Kim the way she's explained it? You know, does this change the way you feel about her now? Would you want to have your memories back? Like, I need to know these things. Don't just sit up there and look like a dumb deer in headlights. Give us some freaking feeling, and you know what I'm saying? That's all. Liz is worried that Franco is gone forever, and Drew reassures her, look, you know, he will come back to us in due season. You just got to give him some space. Then Sam shows up, and she wants to know where Franco is. They're like, we don't know. Sam wants to speak to him. I'm thinking she just wants clear. I don't know. She wants to speak to him, though. We have scenes today. We left off with Julian talking to Lucas about moving and how Kim didn't, you know, want him to go at first, but now she's receptive to him coming with her. And then Brad walks in, and they give Brad the bad or good news, whichever way you want to take it. And Brad is like, no, you can't leave. Then Lucas gets a call. He goes off to the hospital. And Brad is telling him, what am I going to do without you? You know, what if all hell breaks loose while you're gone and Wiley's birth parents come back to reclaim him? Now, he's talking about Michael, but Julian believes that he's talking about Willow and Shiloh. And he's like, you know, Willow and Shiloh, that freaking rhymes. What the heck? Anyway, so he's like, you're okay. Shiloh's going to be gone and behind bars for how long? We probably will never see the light of day. Willow, she knows her place. She's not going to overstep. But we all know why Brad is secretly freaking out. We know why. You know, and Julian, Brad, I'm sorry, he cannot help you with this because Julian doesn't know the full story. He only knows partial. And, you know, it's your fault. You're going to have to go down for the things that you've done. You can't bring other people down with you, which is what he really did to Julian, because Julian doesn't even know that Wiley is Jonah and Jonah is Michael's son. Sad situation. Julian tries to help, and then things always end up going bad for him. So while he's talking about how screwed he's going to be once Julian leaves, Julian kind of gives him an idea about changing the medical records. He brings it up by how he tried to change Wiley's records and it almost blew up in his face. And Brad's like, what if I can, you know, he goes to the hospital to pretty much copy Michael's medical records of the heart condition onto Shiloh's medical records, so that once they open up Shiloh's medical records, that birth defect will be there. And then freaking Lucas shows up and is like, Brad, what are you doing? I didn't expect you to be here. And so then he has to cover it up, and he kind of BS's Lucas and is like, I'm looking at Shiloh's medical records for Wiley. And Lucas is like, hold on, we were supposed to do that together. And then while he glances at the record, he sees that there's no birth defect in there. Brad is trying to rush him along, like, hey, we'll just look at it when we go home tonight, you know, type stuff. I'm like, Brad, you lying devil, you are a liar, a pathological liar. Like, whatever. We have brief scenes with Valentine and Finn today, and Valentine is coming to ask Finn if there's been any updates with Sasha. And Finn's like, look, HIPAA, I can't give you no information. HIPAA. And he's like, oh, well, I'm family. And he says, no, you're not family. Nina's family. Y'all not even married. You're not even on Sasha's medical chart that I can release information to you. So I'm not going to give you any information. He's like, I'm Nina's fiance, though. It makes no difference, Valentine. You're not family. You're not blood. Even though Nina is not really blood, we don't know that yet. They don't know that yet. But you, Valentine, no relation. So then he asks Finn about if there's been any sightings of Cassandra Pierce. And Finn is like, why the sudden interest in Cassandra Pierce? And he's trying to BS him. But then freaking Robert shows up and was like, hey, you guys, I got a call from Anna. And before I go on with that, I'm just thinking, hold on, Anna took the time out to call you, but she can't call her fiance. What is up with that? He says that Anna's seen Cassandra Pierce at Euphema or something like that. And Valentine knows where that's at right away. He's like, oh no, she's going there because she's trying to refuel to get up in the United States illegally. And so he goes off to make some calls or do whatever. And so then Finn is like, did you really have to tell him that? Like, you know how Valentine is. And Robert's like, oh, don't get your panties in a wad. I told him that I have not even heard from Anna. I told him that to see what he's going to do so he can reveal his hand because he's got something up his sleeve. And Finn is like, oh, good move, good move. So while they're watching him, right, they get to talking about Dr. Cabot. Now, apparently Dr. Cabot then sit up here and try to do a plea bargain with the PCPD. And what he said is, if you let me go free, I'll tell Anna, I'll distinguish the memories between Anna and Alex. So now Robert needs to get in touch with Anna about this to see what she wants to do, because we all know that Anna is trying to track Alex down for that same reason. So it's like, if Dr. Cabot could give them all that information, then she can come back to the United States. She can come back to Port Charles and be there for her fiance, you know. So then he walks off. So I don't know what Anna gonna do. I'm excited to see what happens. Are they gonna let him go scot-free? I mean, this guy, every time he gets out, he does something he's not supposed to do. So they shouldn't even let him out. But who knows? Robert is Anna's ex-husband, so he's going to do what he can to help Anna. And Anna really wants to know what these memories are that she has versus what Alex actually lived through, you know? It's weird. This whole memory mapping thing is just weird. Port Charles is becoming Fantasy Island to me because we got psychics walking around. We got freaking memory mapping going on. And look, the memory mapping procedure that they did on freaking Franco literally just required some little pieces on his head. Like, it was like there was no surgery or nothing. It was just weird.
Maxie and Peter have brief scenes today. They're sitting there, they're talking about how Obrecht likes Jack.
Jax overhears that Obrecht left to freshen up and she went to Windermere. He tries to shoot Hayden a text real fast like, hey, you know, heads up, she's coming. And then they get to talking about just irrelevant scene to me today. They run into Franco. Franco is at the freaking bar. He looks like hell, as Maxie says. And they go up to him to try to see if he okay. And she's like, Franco, are you okay? He says, don't call me that. She calls this man Franco again, you guys. He throws the glass. Like, I'm not Franco. That is not my name. My name is Drew. And she's like, dude, are you drunk? And Peter knows right off the bat, oh, something is up. I think it's that memory mapping thing. So they go back to their table, and freaking Peter is sitting there blaming himself. He's taking a freaking situation that's not even about him and making it about him. It's just so odd to me. So he's like,
oh, this is my fault. I did this and that. I had participation with this and that. And I tried to blackmail Drew for this flash drive. If I would have never did this, and
singing his shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And it's like, dude, like, really? So now Maxie has to stroke his ego, as us women have to do with most men all the time, and tell him, you know, it's not your fault. How could you have known? You're such a better person than your father was.
blah, 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 blah.
That's like, Maxie, is this what they're gonna make Maxie become? Like, I want Maxie back, all about fashion, all about getting in trouble and turmoil. I need that Maxie back, that smart Maxie. Like, I don't need Maxie sitting here stroking Peter's ego and Peter stroking her ego every scene we see between these two. I'm sick of it. Like, I need my girl Kirsten Storms back. I need the writers to write something better for Maxie aside from Peter. I'm getting sick of seeing Maxie on these doggone scenes with Peter all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, they used to write Maxie so much better than what they're doing now. Like, what is up with that? Obrecht runs into Hayden, and she's like, tell me what you're doing here or else I'm calling the police. Hayden tries to BS her, like, hey, I came here because I left my earring, and I talked to Nina's assistant. She said it's fine, I could come here. And Obrecht's like, you're lying, pretty much. She notices that Hayden's phone keeps going off, so she's like, oh, it's your accomplice, huh? So she snatches Hayden's phone and sees that the accomplice is Jax. She texts Jax and says, oh, she's gone, it's all good. And she deletes all of Hayden's text messages, and she's like, oh, why would Jax be somebody that's of his stature? Why would he be communicating with you? What does he have to do with you? You know how Liesl is with the men that she loves. Like, she's the same way about Franco. So she was like, I'm still gonna call the police on you. I just don't want to implicate Jax. So Hayden tries to bargain with her and bribe her, and she says, look here, okay, if money won't do, I can get you a date with Jax. And freaking Obrecht seemed like she was going for it. So we'll see. Obrecht is crazy. I always laugh with her. That woman be having me cracking up. I love her. Freaking Kim shows up to Charlie's to explain what's going on to Julian. And Julian gets with her and he's like, okay, yes, this must be very upsetting for you. All the more reason to leave. To me, I don't feel like Kim is upset. I feel like she's more confused than anything. And I feel like she's going to use this opportunity to, catch up with the old Drew. I could be wrong. Then the freaking showdown happens, you guys. Freaking Jason walks into the floating rib, and him and frankendrew, they cross eyes, they cross paths, and I am here for it. Like, yes, I cannot wait till tomorrow for this particular scene to see the showdown, because I guess old Drew knew about Jason, but he knew about him as Jason Quartermain. So we'll see exactly what Drew back in the day knows about Jason. I cannot wait. I got a couple questions for you guys. What is your predictions between Kim and frankendrew? Do you think that this is going to pretty much end her relationship with Julian? Do you think that the writers are trying to erase Franco's past? Like, we always see that they're trying to redeem Franco, which hasn't been working. So what better way than to get rid of his past? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think that Jason and Sam will forgive Franco? I need to know. What do you think that old Drew or Drew 2K12 knows about Jason? That's all for today, you guys. I couldn't wait. I was so excited. Yes, this is what we need from GH. Good storylines. So you guys don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell so that you guys can receive notifications when I upload videos. And I will see you guys later. Bye.
I finally made my mind, know that I can't go back broke. They saying that my time up, my back against the ropes. I hustle, got my grind, know that when I make the most. I had faith every night and I never lost no hope.